Hello everyone and welcome to my review on 2021's West Side Story, directed by Steven Spielberg with lyrics from Stephen Sondheim. Ironically enough, the first musical Spielberg has worked on, which is quite surprising after seeing this actually, and unfortunately the last one that Stephen Sondheim was able to work on, to my knowledge. I quite enjoy this. Well, I mean, I've loved it, to be honest. Really good. We had the whole Puerto Rican stuff a lot more. Like we saw a lot more of the sharks, and it was equal amount of screen time as the Jet, I believe. Also, we had an amazing cast. I'm not going to get into the whole Tony thing, but I really liked it. I can't really say much about spoilers, like for the new stuff. I mean, it's not really new, I suppose. It's just a retelling, which is already a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. It's a race war, I guess. West Side Story is the way I see it. But they did definitely recreate some of the songs in new and interesting ways. Perfect examples are America and Officer Krepke's song, which I don't remember the name of, the therapy one, which wasn't a police station, sorry. And also we had this whole open thing, like it was all like none of the streets were open like the original. It was all very closed, compact, gentrification. It reflected more on modern society than the prior one did, due to the fact that the prior one was out 60 years ago. It reflected society then. This one reflects society now. But the love of Tony and Maria is still all there. Also, Spielberg said that he refused to, and keep in mind there is a lot of Spanish in this film, and he refused to, I believe as he put it, give the English power over the Spanish. So, no Spanish subtitles for that Spanish dialogue. Now, that wasn't a problem for me. I don't know if you don't understand like bits of Spanish. I don't know what if that would be a problem for you. But I thought it was a genius idea, to be honest. You know, give them like equal kind of footing, right? And I don't know, obviously, if it's coming in Spain and then they're going to subtitle in Spanish, and then I don't know. But one thing I do know is that I love this film, as I say. It was a lot more violent, more strong language. They also had an openly trans character, which is kind of, I suppose, what they pushed in the original, but they really toned it back because it was 1961. This one's straight out. He is there to stay, although everyone calls him a she because it was 1957 or 8. And it's they were racist and transphobic and homophobic as fuck. But it was a really good film. Best movie musical adaptation I have seen. I think it beats In the Heights personally, and I don't say that lightly. I loved In the Heights, but I suppose it's got the representation more down as well. I assume. I mean, I'm not going to say all that, but it was a really good movie musical. The songs were a bop. I mean, they always were. You know, they got like Tonight, like I say, America, I Feel Pretty, although they changed the word gay to bright because, well, gay means something else now. What else did they do that was interesting? I suppose that, like I say, were being a lot more violent. They were given a lot more free rein to show that kind of street gang-esque. Although they still do kind of have their dance fight things. It's a lot more of a realistic fight now. It's a lot more brutal, especially in that Cool Boy song. That Cool Boy, Crazy Boy thing. Shite. That's the only song I don't like. It had a lot more, like, intensity to it. Because there was, like, you know, a straight up fucking revolver there, which was in the original, I believe, from what I remember. But it was nowhere near as intense. Also, if we're talking about tense, the way that Spielberg does the cinematography in this to make it push up, it's all close, it's very personal. There was this one shot where Tony is in a puddle. Like, it's the most one of the most beautiful shots of the year. How the fuck do they make a shot of him standing in a puddle like beautiful. I don't understand that, but that's Spielberg for you, I guess. I mean, I give the film a 10, and I was really happy with it. Like, I can't cover everything in these reviews. I'm also doing it off the top of my head. I just got back from the cinema about half an hour ago, and now I'm recording it because this is the day that the film released, on the December 10th. Now, unfortunately, because Sondheim passed, we all never really, I guess, get to hear his thoughts on the film, but from what I've seen in interviews, he was happy with the way that is rearranged. Like he said, theatre is a living organism. It's constantly changing, right? Movies are in one still place at a time, and I suppose that means that they got to really get their performances golden, and this, the performances were golden. The lady who played Anita, she was fantastic, okay? Now, she was the bullet in Hamilton, and I also believe that she was in the Bronx Tale musical, which, for the song Out of My Head, which, if you don't know, that's such an underrated musical, but I feel like this film is definitely 100% better than the original. I'd give the original a 7, this is a 10. And obviously they didn't do the whole, face thing where they done that racist shit. But keep in mind that back then that was because they weren't allowed to have interracial relationships because they were assholes. Still are they, kind of. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed my review of the new West Side Story. Sorry that I couldn't get everything in, but one thing I would like to cover before I go is that the sound mixing was really good. There's this scene when Tony is singing Melia, and he's singing in the skate, and it's like an echo. It echoes through, and like the sound mix is so good, especially in the cinema. So, yep, that is my review for this film. Thank you all for watching, and I hope that you enjoy the film as much as I did. Thank you. Goodbye.